Here's something most change management frameworks miss entirely. When you announce change, people's brains interpret it as a threat. And when the brain perceives threat, it triggers defensive responses, fight, flight, or freeze. And that makes change harder, slower, and more political than it needs to be. As a CEO, you are change. Your presence signals that the old way wasn't working. Your diagnosis surfaces uncomfortable truths. Your priorities require different behaviour. Every change you introduce activates threat response in the people around you. So understanding the neuroscience of change isn't academic, it's practical. When you know what triggers defensive responses and what triggers reward responses, you can design change that people move toward rather than resist. The model that makes this actionable is called SCARF. It was developed by David Rock through his research on the neuroscience of leadership, and it identifies 5 social domains that activate either threat or reward in the brain: status, certainty, autonomy, relatedness, and fairness. When any of these domains is threatened, the brain panics. Cortisol floods the system, working memory decreases, collaborative behaviour shuts down, people become defensive, resistant, and political. When these domains are reinforced, the brain's reward centres activate. Dopamine releases, cognitive capacity increases, people engage, collaborate, and take ownership. Your job as a change leader? Minimise threat response and maximise reward response. Looking at each one, status is about relative importance, people's sense of where they stand. When you're diagnosing why growth stalled, people may feel blamed. When you reorganise, people may feel diminished, even if their title doesn't change. The fix? Frame diagnosis as we are diagnosing the system, not the people. Recognise contributions publicly and specifically, and ask people for their expertise in front of others. Certainty is about the ability to predict the future. Your arrival creates massive uncertainty. People don't know if you're going to fire them, restructure their teams, or change everything that they've built. And that uncertainty makes people risk-averse and political. The fix? Communicate your process and timeline explicitly. Here's what's going to happen in weeks 1, 2, 3, 4. Share what you're not changing. When you don't know something, say so and tell them when you will. Autonomy is the sense of control over outcomes, new systems, new processes, new accountability. Even positive changes can feel constraining if they're not framed correctly. The fix? Frame new frameworks as enabling, not restricting. Push decision-making down. Here's the outcome we need. You decide how to achieve it. Relatedness is the sense of safety and connection with others. You're an outsider. People don't know you. Previous trust bonds may be disrupted. The fix? Invest genuinely in one-to-ones. Share something about yourself beyond work. See people as humans, not just roles. As Simon Sinek writes in Leaders Eat Last, when leaders create environments where people feel safe, those people naturally work together to face external challenges rather than turn on one another. Fairness is the perception of fair exchange. When you allocate resource to some teams and not others, or prioritise certain initiatives, people evaluate whether those decisions are fair. And if they seem arbitrary or political, threat response activates. The fix? Explain your rationale explicitly. Apply decision frameworks consistently. Hold everyone, including yourself, to the same standards. Now, here's something important to expect. Resistance tends to peak around day 45 to 60, and this is normal. People have heard your diagnosis, seen the priorities, understood the change coming, and now the reality is setting in. Threat response activates most strongly when change moves from abstract to concrete. During this period, acknowledge the difficulty openly, reinforce purpose, demonstrate early wins, maintain your direction consistently, stay connected. By day 90, if you've managed this well, you'll see engagement stabilising or improving, people referencing strategic priorities in their own conversations, cross-functional collaboration increases, decisions happen faster, fewer defensive or political behaviour. Change management isn't about forcing people to change, it's about creating conditions where people's brains interpret change as opportunity rather than threat. When you understand the neuroscience, you can design change that people move toward willingly, confidently, together. This is just a taste of what's inside the Growth Catalyst community, a place built for CEOs and founders to learn, develop, and fulfill their growth mandate and promise. If you're a CEO or founder currently planning, making change and making big strategic and operational decisions right now, this is the community for you. Get 90 days free all access at socri.com.